Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. Bear with me here a moment. I'm still getting my charts up and running. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make the room this morning. Very snowy here in southern Vancouver Island. We're still under a heavy snowfall warning, and the worst of it is supposed to come this morning. So while I have you, just a reminder, if all of a sudden the room goes quiet, it's because the power has probably gone off. All right, let's take a look here at, where's my little warning to remind you? Trading is risky. Hold on a second here while I find it. The government wants me to remind you constantly. Where did I put it now? There we go. Just your reminder that trading is risky and you should never trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Good advice. And I'm not just saying that. I've known people who have traded with the mortgage money and then blame other people when they lose their money and lose their house. Not a good thing. Yeah, Mark's almost in the same boat. Mark says we got 6 inches of snow overnight here in Wisconsin with another 3 to 5 on the way. Fun, fun, fun. Your snow would be like ours, I imagine, because of your proximity to the Great Lakes. Our snow is very wet, which is what makes it so problematic. Not only does it turn to ice right away, but the heavy snow has a tendency to bring down trees and above surface power lines and cause all kinds of problems. All right, so here was yesterday's session. Very quiet, very sideways, very unusual for a Monday. Here's the start of today, and you can't see it because the overnight is included in this bar, but we're actually dealing with a bit of an opening gap. You can see where we're trading now around the 69, 65, 66 zone, and where we left off yesterday, closer to 6,900. So we got a bit of a downside gap there, which the market may try to fill. We will keep an eye on that. It's still early though. Let's take a look here at the Eagle. This, of course, for those of you new in the room trying to figure out what you're looking at, is the diversified trading system along with the Raptor. So here in the top left, I have the Hawk Scalper. The top right, the Falcon Swing Trader. Bottom left, Eagle Trend Trader. Bottom right, the Raptor. And this room is here for your benefit. Please let me remind you of that. If there's something you don't understand, if there's something I'm doing that you're wondering, why is he doing that? Please ask. It helps pass the time as well. All right, I was going to take a look here at the Eagle, get a bird's eye view, if you'll excuse the pun. And you can see here during the Asian session, boom, what a rally. We don't normally see that kind of stuff going on during the Asian markets, and yet the Nasdaq, huge rally through the Asian session, and then rather quiet through the European session. And now we got this little bit of a sideways little tango going on. We have had the bearish break without the follow through. Here's a little tip for you. When the market starts moving sideways, sit up and take notice, because you're going to get an opportunity. So here we have a market that's moving relatively sideways, and now all of a sudden we get the bearish break. Okay, so this is the seller's attempt now to move the market lower. What we anticipate on this type of move is we anticipate a breakout, a retest, and then a resumption of the trend. So when we see this breakout occur, one of the things I like to do is I like to throw a little just in case order down here. Just in case the breakout is true and the market does continue in the direction of the breakout, I am ready for them. But what can happen if the breakout fails? Okay, here's the market trying to resume the trend now. If this fails to head lower, then there's a very good chance the market will start to head higher. So this is why I say when you see the market moving sideways for any period of time, take notice, because it's working itself into a bit of a tight spot where you're going to know with a reasonable amount of certainty which way it's going to go next. So now we have this market essentially pinched. It's either has to continue lower with the breakout, or the breakout will be a fake break and the market will start to head higher. And there you go. You get yourself a nice little move on that attempted breakout. And right there on that little move right there, we actually got a rule of 3 signal. A little bit sloppy, but still, that's what it is. On that move right there, that could be your day. That is easily a $200 move. And in single contracts, by the way. And then, of course, we know to make more money, we're not going to necessarily trade more often. Rather, we're going to capitalize on those opportunities and add more contracts. So if it's $200 with a single, well, if we're trading 2 contracts, of course, that's $400. 3 contracts, $600. 10 contracts, $2,000. Don't think for a moment that's not exactly what is going on among the professional traders. And I know there's a few in the room who are doing exactly that. We're still talking a little bit of weather here. Mark says their snow is kind of heavy for sure. Chicago is getting ice this morning. Yeah, they're used to that too, though. Chicago on the south side of Winnipeg, and Winnipeg probably gets the worst weather in Canada. It's just terrible. And you know, the funny thing is, the people from the prairies, from Winnipeg, nicest people in the world, salt of the earth. And I'm not saying that to be a wise guy. That is a very true observation. But I have met more people here on the West Coast from Winnipeg who end up moving back to Winnipeg. I can't wrap my head around that. Your winters are sub-freezing. Your summers are broiling with black flies and mosquitoes that can pick you up and carry you away. And they move back. But it's the sense of community in those types of places, or so I'm told. It wasn't quite enough to entice me. Yeah, way to go, Mark. Mark picking up here. It's the perfect example of what we're talking about here this morning, capitalizing on high probability trade with multiple contracts. I'm assuming this may have been the late filter entry Mark took advantage of. He says, I took a late filter entry this morning on a second push. So the second push simply means, okay, first let's review the late filter entry. This is a signal which is unique to the Falcon. It occurs when you're, oh, no, sorry, my trend line went out of sync. Okay, so it looks like we're still having a slight discrepancy here between Ninja 7 and Ninja 8, but we'll point this out anyhow. Pretend for a moment this trend line did not change color. So we've got, you know what? Okay, let me go through this first, and then I'm going to play with something here. Okay, so we've got, we're going to pretend for a moment the trend line did not go out of sync. The filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. The second push opportunity simply means that we allow the signal to engage, and then we look for a reactionary bar. I'm going to assume that was it right there. And then we're going to look to enter now on some renewed momentum. So the market's kind of tipped its hand, and now we're going to say, okay, if you buyers really have it, then let's join the party. And there we go, a nice little run up. Hit the profit target. And Mark says I took 4 cars on that, good for $435. Nicely done. Okay, so with the new Mean Renko bars, we have the opportunity to adjust the trend and the reversal. The trend refers to the body, the reversal refers to the tail. I am going to just adjust this slightly. Just to see if this makes any difference. What this allows you to do is it allows you to adjust the sensitivity of the bar, so you can tweak it for your market. Does that look more like yours, Mark? Not going to take a lot of time here and compare charts, but while we're talking about it, if you can take a look at yours. So my filter now out of sync for a single bar, the trend line not changing color. Hello. Okay, Mark says it's a little better, but I did have some red after that late filter. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this for today's session. Not, like I said, I'm not going to take the time to play with it a lot right now. Oh, you know what? I will try one other thing. Let's make the trend bar. 8 ticks and just see what that does. Okay, we'll stay with that. We'll stay with that one for now. All right, the buyers definitely with a little bit of giddy up. Yeah, Mark says that's more like it. You know, the funny thing is very often just that one tick can make the difference. I think when Ben was reworking the bars, he said that there was a one tick discrepancy, and so he modified it a little bit. All right. Oh, Mark says we might have got it here. Okay, well, I'll do a little bit more comparison afterwards between those two. And in the meantime, it looks now as though we may have had that bull break out of our little trading range. Same thing's going to happen now. We're going to be looking for a retest and another chance to buy the market higher. And if I can get a couple of down bars here, a couple of bear bars, that will kind of show me where the sellers are digging in. That will give me a chance to put my little just in case entry up there. You could do it on a single bar, but here's the problem with a single bar. Right, here's the single bar reverse. This time you would have been okay. The market didn't dip quite low enough, but there will be times the market will look like it's resuming trend. Here, let me roll this over so you can see what it looks like. Okay, remember this was up here like that. Okay, if you say, okay, there's my reverse bar, now I'm going to put my just in case to order down here, and then the market looks like it's going to start resuming trend, hooray. Sometimes this bar will actually dip low enough to engage your order, and then boom. So if you wait for 2 bars, you'll usually be better off. Of course, that does open up the possibility that the market will go ahead without you. But I don't know. It's usually, in my book anyways, it's better to miss out on a trade than to suck up a loser. So, you know, with all this winter weather we're getting this late in our season, tomorrow is supposed to be nice. Thursday, maybe a few more snowflakes. Friday, Saturday, rain. Sunday, nice. So, okay. I guess what I'm saying is if for whatever reason you log on and I'm not here, then you'll know what's going on. It's because the power is is out. Well, the kids will be happy. Another snow day today. Oh, it looks like they canceled some of the ferry sailings as well. Okay, I'm going to just use the chart trader here and throw a just in case order to buy up there. We're seeing almost a textbook reaction now to the breakout. You can also be on the alert here for a 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're going to get a 4-arrow consolidation building here in the hawk. And we could be getting a hard edge bounce. Sorry, I was here. I'll throw it in the chat window here in case anyone's interested. I was checking the weather. What made me chuckle is up here, these folks in White Rock still going out on their paddle boards. Yeah, I don't think you'll see me doing that. Ray's asking, Eric, on the Renko reversal setting you did, should I change that on all the charts? Not necessarily, Ray. You know, the best thing to do if you have 20 minutes is just pull up your Ninja 7 and your Ninja 8 charts side by each. So pull up your Hawk chart on Ninja 7, compare it to your Ninja 8. You really don't need to review that much time. You know, you can review the last hour or so of trading and just compare signals. So here was a first micro macro cross on Ninja 8. Just make sure it occurred the same way on Ninja 7. Do a screenshot or whatever you need to do. If for whatever reason they're not syncing up, then of course you can try changing the reverse setting by a tick. But I think it was only the Falcon that was giving us a little bit of grief there with that late filter entry signal. And Mark, of course, picked up on it because that's his bread and butter signal that he relies on, I think, most of the time. Yeah. Mark says that's like the Lake Michigan Polar Bear Club. They run into the lake in January and February. They always have their polar bear swim here too in the 1st of January, but I've had friends that have done it, but no thank you. Okay, we're kind of fighting to make a first micro macro cross. Reasonably close here, almost visually a number 3 signal. The momentum seems to be fading though after that breakout and retest. Here again, depending how aggressive you want to be on the market, you know, we've got a couple of bull bars. We've got a breakout or retest. The market should head higher. If it fails to head higher, well, then there's a chance it's going to move back inside this trading zone. So we could kind of pinch the market. We can use our support and resistance lines as probable targets. So here to the short side, we could use the primary resistance line. That's a very plausible target. 1, 2. The market will have a tendency to move 2 zones after getting above the primary resistance. So here's zone 1. This would be zone 2. So we could use just shy of 7,000. Use that as a probable target. Of course, here on the Raptor, if the market turns tail and starts heading lower, it will produce a number 2 signal to short. And now we can just wait it out. It's not unusual for us to get snow in the winter, but typically we get this kind of snowfall early in the new year. It doesn't usually occur toward the middle of February. Usually the middle of February, I'm on the golf course. Not this year. There's a phenomenon here known as the Pineapple Express. No, it's not like the movie. But it's when we get all the warm, moist air coming up from Hawaii. And of course, we usually get some really heavy rains as a result. But this year, it's also mixed with an Arctic high, so that's why we're getting all the snow. The nice thing about the Pineapple Express is that, some days you can even smell the gardenias. It's amazing. All the way from Hawaii. All right, they're thinking about it. Remember, the short here, the shorting opportunity is much more aggressive. The market has shown itself to be fairly bullish. So just bear in mind the selling attempt, while it is possible, is not necessarily the more probable of the two trades. I do believe we have a second push, or pardon me, a number 2 signal now, and yes, we do. So we've got that number 2 signal with a second push here. Now coming the number 3 signal. I don't think I'm going to adjust anything, although if you were inclined, I suppose we could throw a trend line across here and use that trend line to tighten our buy order, get you in a couple of ticks earlier on that number 3 signal. We'll see if the market flinches near the trend line here. I may use that as a second push opportunity on the number 3 signal that's formed. So here we have a number 2 signal to short, a number 3 signal to buy. I think I would favor the buy. All right, so we're long. I'm going to cancel now the limit order down there, and I'm going to use this order here as my stop loss. And let's just see if we don't get a little follow through on that. Oh, the hesitation. Don't you dare. See, now we're getting the whole breakout retest scenario again. See this little bar here with that tail to it? I could certainly roll my stop there, take a little bit of risk out of the trade. Give me one more bar. Come on, you guys. Okay, now I'll take the trade up here to break even. And all you folks down there in the southern states can stop writing me about your nice weather. I don't need to hear it. One good thing is it's not cold. It's not very cold in spite of all the snow. Come on. You're so close. You want to. I know you do. Oh, they're going to tag me here. Doggone it. On this little hiccup of a reverse. Yeah, all right. Well, let's close that out. Well, that was a shame. Didn't quite get the follow through I was hoping for. But at the same time, it wasn't a losing trade, so the broker's happy. The broker got his commission. That's all that matters, really. All right, the good news is it looks like we may be getting a larger retest of the breakout, which happens as well. Let's throw a little trend line up here. It looks like the market seems to be honoring the trend line a bit. And when and if this trend line breaks down, that will open up the possibility of a test of the extreme and perhaps another move lower. In fact, I think the Raptor may be the first to give us that type signal on another number 2 signal if we get it. Jeff is saying the E-mini is approaching the February 5th high at 2740. Maybe that's the cause of the market hesitation. It could be. You know, the nice thing about following something like support and resistance, and the mean wrinkle bars in particular, is that it makes it relatively easy to spot where the buyers and sellers are. And what I mean by that is if you look at a time-based chart, okay, you can say, well, there's obvious loads of selling going up down there, loads of buying down here, but the rest of the bars, the stuff that's in between here, it's not as easy to spot. With the mean Renko bars, it is a little easier to spot because you can say, okay, well, there's obviously some buying here. There's obviously some buying here. There's some selling pressure here. So that is a distinct advantage with the range style bars. Now, when you spot these areas, you anticipate that, okay, if they were buying down here before, they're going to be buying again. If they were selling at, well, I'm not going to roll back, but if there was selling here before, there's going to be selling again. And that's actually what happened here. And here after the breakout. That was all reactionary to this selling point. But right now, it is the buyers all over. In fact, the trend is such that if I get a couple of bear bars off of just this follow-up Raptor signal, which kind of ties in with this trend line touch signal / trend change signal on the Falcon, I might be inclined to buy if the market gets above here. Now, we have moved 2 zones off of our primary resistance line breakout. So here was zone 1, and now we've covered zone 2. Okay, I'm going to throw in a stop order now. I'm going to pull away my exit order because remember, unlike the trade manager, these orders with the trade calculator are live when you put them on your chart. So this is just a follow-up now on the Falcon signal and the Raptor signal. Just looking for a reason to get long with the trend. All right, so we got filled. I'm going to bring up my exit order now. And looking for some bullishness to keep the market going. Oh, thanks, Ray. Ray's checking the reports calendar. Says at 12:45 Eastern today, Fed Chair Powell is speaking. So the market may be holding on for some of that. It's just kind of checking the upside of my trend, my little channel that's developing here. Well, I'm not liking the hesitation after the breakout, so there's a couple of things I can do. I could use this bar right here with the tail and just suck up the loss early. I have only risk, I'm risking 250, well, sorry, 2.5%, maximum $250 of my capital. So I have capped my risk. Shoot, they're gonna tag me out now. Okay, we're back now to the trend line. And hopefully there'll be a little bit of buying off of here that will give me an opportunity to raise my stops. But this is definitely putting a bearish spin on the market. There should have been more follow through on that. Nuts. The Falcon already changing here the trend line. The Hawk setting up for a red bar buy, which kind of develops near the end of a trend. Just reinforcing the weakness of the buyers at the moment. Come on, just give me a chance. Well, I hope you're right, Mark. Mark says we're not that far from 70.50. I think we'll see that today. Some resistance at that point, though, looking at least at my daily chart. Shoot, I'd be happy if it got halfways there today. Well, they tried to tag me here, but so far, stops are holding. Here again, a bar with a teeny tiny tail to it. If you wanted to take some of the risk out of the trade, you could roll it up here. In fact, I think I'll take a little bit of risk out and go back to the hard edge. I'm not holding out a whole lot of hope for this trade. I think what's likely to happen is maybe actually a number 2 signal developing. So we're a test of the extreme, a failure. We are into the hard edge, so the next buy signal will be a hard edge bounce. But I have to admit the sellers seeming a little bit stronger at this point. Come on, Raptor. So the big obstacle now, this resistance line up here around 69.97 and change. Nice thing about this number 3 signal is it probably coincided with the trend line. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. All right, a little stutter here. Slight hesitation. Give me a couple of bull bars and I can roll my stop up below this bar here with this tiny little tail to it. Come on, get above 69.96. You can do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's not looking so good right now. Come on, you buyers. Where are you hiding? All right, if I get tagged out here, we're likely going to produce a number 2 signal to short. There we go. All right, so I got tagged. There's the number 2 signal to short. And I'm going to take a look at all right, so I've set up now for the number 2 signal. It hasn't printed yet. And stops will stay there above the highs. I may have to move them if the market decides to rally. So what we're looking at now is a test of the extreme, right? The extreme being up here, the high. This is a retest of the high. And this number 2 signal would confirm that the buyers can't hold the market together and that prices are likely to head lower. Now, I'm going to stretch my profit objective a little bit. I'm going to bring it back down here, try to recover a little bit of that loss, and perhaps even pick up a little extra on the profit side. Wow, the momentum or lack thereof is impressive. A safer entry would be below this bar right here. I'll keep an eye on the whole 69.80 area as well. That's going to be the point where the buyers rallied the market the last time. So I might be a little ahead of the curve on this one. Wow. Okay, I didn't expect to get stuck in another sideways trading range, which is what's going on right now. Got another sideways range building, not what I wanted to see. Come on, sellers. Let's get a little bit of a bear push going on here. We can also draw a little bit of a trend line here. There should be a little bit of selling on a trend line breach. There we go. You can see the sellers trying to kick it down. Okay, you can see we got a little bit of candy striping going on now. All right, momentum's picking up slightly. There we go. Now we got the number 2 signal. There we go. Now we're starting to take out some of the buyers, forcing them out of their positions. I could roll my stops ever so slightly. Hey, the buyers, they are something else here this morning. Yeah, I'm going to retreat my stop just a little bit because if we fudge this trend line, there's a very realistic possibility we could break this little swing by a tick or two. And I hate getting tagged by a couple of ticks only to watch the market eventually go in my direction. Okay, it's do or die for the sellers now. They've got to take the market down here. Otherwise, it's going to be nothing more than a bull flag. So I will be a little bit more aggressive with my stops at this point. Look at that. They're trying to swing the market up here a little bit. Good news is we know there's some very aggressive buying down here. If the sellers force the market lower one more time, we are going to see a lot of these buyers. They bought here, they bought here, they bought here, they bought here. We're going to see a lot of them scramble to get out of their positions, which will see the market go at least down here to the first resistance zone. our breakout zone at 69.80. I don't know if they're going to get all the way down here back to the primary resistance zone, but we'll see. Well, first things first. Yeah, good little piece of advice here from Ray. Ray says, "Yet, Eric, I want to share something with you. Uh, on yesterday, after I finished my long target with a profit, I forgot to cancel the stop loss. Well, it was filled and the market started going down. I was able to close the trade for $240 on 2 contracts. Nicely done." Well, I'll pay more attention now. It made my heart tick a little faster. It's a good habit when you're finish a position to hit your close button. Or make yourself a little checklist. See, if we draw a line up here, it prevents the market from going any higher. Well, we're hanging. We're hanging up here again. Well, on the one hand, you can say if the market's hanging, there will be a tendency for it to head lower. It's the old gravity theory. So whoever controls the last swing controls the market. Right now, it's a buyer's market. They're controlling the last swing. The better stop placement for this trade is still 2 swings back. I will be looking for another bear bar and an excuse to bring my stops in. Yeah, Mark says it's a humbling lesson. I've been there. Haven't we all? Haven't we all had that lesson where you have an open order and you've forgotten about? It's a good habit to flatten your orders before you leave your office. Ninja usually prompts you that you'll still have an open position. But even so, I make it a habit to hit that flatten market button. Come on, give me the bar. Yes, stinkers. Well, after the trade room this morning, I'll be trying to psych myself up to go dig out the van. It's knee deep in snow all the way around. But if I don't do it, I'll be sorry, because if it does rain over the next couple of days, then I'm really going to have trouble getting it out. Yeah, Mark says, I hope you have a snowblower. No, no, not here. Here on the West Coast, our weather, especially in terms of snow, always tends to lean toward the extreme. We either don't get any or we occasionally get a lot, as we have this year. Now, this year is nothing. 20 years ago, we got 6 feet of snow in 2 days. And that effectively shut down. I was still living in Victoria at the time, but it eventually shut down the city because even the city of Victoria, I think, has like 6 snowplows. It's just not something that happens. The snowplow drivers were making their rounds after they were done with Victoria. They went and helped out other communities up and down the island. Although I was thinking to myself when I was at the hardware store the other day, and they have all their snowblowers on display at the front of the store, I was thinking, well, there was some wasted inventory. Maybe he knew something I didn't. Yeah, Mark says I've got a 20-year-old snowblower. Keep it around just for those kinds of days. My back thanks me. It's still light and fluffy, our snow, so I want to get out there before the humidity gets up. All right, let's see now whether they can break these lows here and take out some of those buyers. I will roll my stop. Like I said, they got to go. We've got to see a break here. Okay, I can get my trade to break even now. +2 for Scott. First target, the resistance line down here. It would be advisable to take profit there. We're about halfway there now. We've got our scalp target. If we get down here to the resistance line, we'll have our profit objective. Like I said, I'm going to try to offset a little bit of my... No, you know what? I am going to take this one deep. Swinging for the fences. Okay, so we've hit our first profit target. If you're all in, all out, there you go. Looking like a little bit of a reaction. Get the mouse out of the way. Oh, don't push back too hard. I could leave the trade at break even, but I may as well take the 50 bucks if they back up. This is a situation where it's nice to have the multiples in play. Where you can take profit on target, leave a runner. You're gonna tap me here, you stinkers. All right, let's close out the remaining orders. So close. Well, almost got myself back to break even. And it's starting to look like I would have got tagged at break even if I didn't roll my stops up, so just as well. I captured a little bit of that open profit. And here we are, just in drift mode again. Back in the hard edge, so that's obviously where we're going to anticipate some sort of reaction. For those of you here in the room this morning, a couple weeks ago, or I guess about a week ago, I did a podcast with Eddie Horn from Top Step Trader. He just sent me the link for that. I put it in the chat window for those of you who are interested. I think a lot of the material you'll already would have heard from me. It's the kind of stuff that I preach day in and day out. Oh, this hard edge bounce is looking oh so tempting. Where's that trend line fall? All right, I'm going to throw in an order. I kind of eyeballed it here above the trend line. It's essentially my hard edge bounce, my red bar buy on the eagle. And actually, the eagle, one of the first here to produce a signal on this one. That's a little unusual. I thought we'd have at least a hawk signal. All right, here we go. This will close out our morning. We'll stay here with the eagle. And given the bar sizes here, I think I'll take advantage and bring my stop in a touch. Even though the trade calculator has capped my risk at my risk percent amount. Gotta go. Gotta get above that trend line. Let's go. And then as we get closer here towards 7,000 again, I will once more get more aggressive with my stops. There we go. Okay. All right, slight little hesitation at 7,000. We have hit our swing target. I'm trying to hold out here now for my eagle target. Oh, you stinkers. All right, I'm going to jam this trade. There we go. If they bounce off of this high right here, they're probably going to take me out at break even anyhow. If they break, well, then they should get up to my profit target, but I'm not going to let too much more get away on me. The only real way to get more out of this trade is to leave your stop down here, the original placement. Because like I said, if it bounces off of this high, it will come down, it will retest somewhere in here. I just don't feel like giving them that much room. Come on. Here, we'll give it a little push. It helps sometimes. You give it, move it higher with the mouse. Come on, you can do it. Here we go. Come on, wrong way. Get going. Up, get going. Up, there. Sometimes holding your breath helps. There we go. Okay, so we're challenging now the 7,000 zone. Oh, if I were smart, I would just take the profit. I got $150 there. All right. Okay. Remember to close out your open orders. Don't know if we're going to get a whole lot more giddy up from that, although that was a very nice little hard edge bounce there, that red bar buy signal. Nice way to close out the morning. Okay, so if I were looking to do my trade quota, I have now met my 3 trade quota and I finished in the black. I have a profit, so I would be done trading for today. That's how you keep from ruining your account, from blowing yourself up. Because the losing traders will keep going back to the market time and again, time and again. They tend not to be very selective about the trades they take, and then they wonder why they can't make any money. All right, gang. If you are going to continue trading today, the market is in a very strong uptrend. It's not to say there shouldn't be a little bit of a reset here sometime through the day, but I think you're going to have your better opportunities looking for pullbacks, looking for opportunities that get back here to the hard edge on your Eagle and Raptor. You know, feel free to draw a trend line across there. Look for trend line breaks to confirm your hard edge bounce signals, or, you know, take advantage of the #1 signal when it produces. Those are valid. You can do that kind of thing. Ditto here on the Falcon. When you get the pullbacks, look for your next buy opportunity. And do your best not to strangle your trades. I know it's hard. I know it can make you anxious, but try to give your trade a reasonable amount of room to work out. All right. I will hopefully see you tomorrow, unless for whatever reason we're experiencing problems with the power. But otherwise, uh, have a great day, and I'm off to shovel snow. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.